Hello, welcome. Let's adjust the flaps. Jesus, take the wheel. I stole that from On the Marbles.
Perfect. That was great.
Wait, woman who be thinking we soft, we don't play. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hold up. Hey, woman who be thinking we soft, we don't play. We gon' rock it till the wheels fall off.
Hi, guys, and welcome to episode 28 of Lights Out, Let's Talk. And I'm sure you've noticed today, A, Brooke is not with us, and B, there are males here. Whoa!
How's it going?
Oh my god! Guys, would you like to introduce yourselves?
Hello. Wait from lick the stamp and send it. I don't know if I wasn't gonna put in the bit that I normally put in after that, which is I normally go everyone's favorite motorsport podcast, but that's really bad to say on somebody else's motorsport.
It's okay. We have terrible views.
Everyone's favorite motorsport podcast. Apparently, we have a listener from Russia, so God knows.
Oh wow!
I mean, that is a surprise.
We're worldwide. We are worldwide at this point. I'm James, and potentially below me, or at least for me, it's below me. We've got.
I'm George. I joined up the podcast actually around this time last year. George Russell won Austria. I texted James and said, "Can I come on now?" And we did.
Yes, I only ever met George in person once.
Person once.
Fess. I only live about half an hour away from him, but we've only ever met each other once, and that was at a radio conference in Leeds, which is nowhere near where we live.
Leeds.
Love. I mean, I met
Leeds.
Beth in Birmingham, which is a trek for me.
It was a trek for us as well.
We are in Birmingham for right. Here's a
We
game.
were there for.
We went to see Ollie Behrman.
Peaky
Oh
Blinders.
yeah, Autosport. That
Yeah,
one.
we went for Autosport International. Which
Oh,
was
see,
great.
George does his homework.
Yeah, exactly. I know my stuff.
I just mess about. I still haven't watched the F1 Academy races from Canada. In my defense, I've been incredibly busy.
Yeah, the season's mental. I've been busy, and Beth's been busy packing for Silverstone and stress. So much.
I
stress.
haven't packed. I'm packing on Tuesday.
Well,
Next Tuesday,
bought
not
a
tomorrow.
ridiculous amount of flags. To
When's
bring.
Silverstone?
It's
Not
next,
this weekend. It's
not
next
this
weekend.
weekend. Next
Silverstone's
weekend.
next
Oh, you've
weekend.
got ages. Oh, you don't have to pack
No,
until
well,
like
we
the
go
Thursday
on.
night.
We go on next Wednesday.
Yeah.
On
You don't,
a week
you
on
don't have to pack
Wednesday.
until the Wednesday morning, man. You're fine.
No,
You're
No,
fine.
but I like to pack like one thing a day, and then I feel satisfied.
as
Best.
long as I have my flags and my poncho, life is good.
Well,
Life is
Silverstone
good.
did message you on TikTok. Silverstone Circuit
Yeah,
message that if you
I
didn't,
got threatened. I got threatened that if I didn't bring my flags, they're not letting me into the track.
Wow.
So,
Fair dues. That takes some doing.
bro,
they
Beth's
are.
TikTok celebrity. Beth's out here getting invited to all the events.
Me and Hilton are besties.
Existential thoughts.
We
Like
have no
a
idea
winner.
why.
I
Hilton
don't
just
know how.
they sent Beth a signed Lando cap, and then she got invited to the Silverstone Museum opening.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, but it was a jump. I thought it was Lando fell over. He's just making fun of it.
Like his
No, I
championship
got
hopes
an
and dreams.
email.
Guys, this is a safe place.
No, guys, I feel like let's just pull the flag out.
Oh my goodness.
He looks like
me.
a sperm.
Okay, to all our Lando lovers on this podcast, guys. Oh, that's a good one. We should probably start with who your favorite drivers are.
Do you want to go first, James? I'll let you go first.
Are you wanting F1 or outside of F1 or both?
We'll go both.
George, you go first.
I already know who James's is. I can
Yeah.
tell.
So mine has been for quite a long time, George Russell. Not necessarily because we're both named George, but it's fine. Alex Albon's also up there for me, as is Yuki Tsunoda. Outside of F1, I've got a big soft spot for De Vries. So
Nick DeVries is
Yeah.
Beth's favorite person.
Oh my god, I love Nick DeVries.
We have a whole series on this podcast of Beth's love for Nick DeVries.
He's in my PowerPoint.
He is.
I was not when you were like he's in. I was like, are you gonna say like DMs next, or I was like, that's probably something that you might have to cut out there. But I was like, where's this going to end up?
He's part of my Alex Albon butterfly effect PowerPoint.
Yes,
Yeah,
she made a
that is an
whole.
extensive butterfly effect, to be fair.
It's
That's my
Don't-
favorite butterfly effect.
don't ask. Okay, James, who's your favorite driver?
I don't really know because I don't really pick favorites. I kind of slate them all equally. I praise them equally and I slate them equally.
Yep, perfect.
Until very recently, Daniel Ricciardo, because I can't really say that anymore because he's
R.I.P.
gone. He's not with us. He's not dead, but he's just not on the grid, and it's quite upsetting and it's incredibly depressing. Because Danny Rick, but I do quite like Mr. Pastry. I do like Mr. Pastry. I just like an Australian.
That's
Yeah.
true. That's true.
I've
Something
lost
about the
off the
Australian
pastry.
accent is just nice.
Yeah,
Like something about it's just like, "G'day, how's it going?" It's like, oh, yes, Australia.
that's great at an Australian accent. It's not one that I've yet to master.
And then I quite like Yuki. I'm liking Isaac Hadjar. He's just a precious little gem of a man.
He is. He's great.
Yeah. I praise everyone equally. I slate everyone equally. But yeah, I would say them ones are my top ones. And then outside of F1, it's got to be Abby Pulling, F1 Academy 2024 championship winner and current GB3 racer, and then newly announced Formula E for Nismo, simulation driver and rookie test driver for Berlin. Yeah!
So excited.
Let's
Mr.
go.
Ella Lloyd is there as well.
Oh yes, and Bianca Bustamante. Everyone's going. And then
Love Ella Lloyd.
Your little Abby pulling
So-
Lego.
I decided to make Abby Pulling as a miniature, and I'm quite proud of it.
It's incredible.
I did make some TikToks about this. Somebody commented going paint the helmet, and I went, I'm not that brave.
That's
I'm not that talented to not mess that up. It is likely I will mess that up.
perfect.
Yeah.
Well, quick little rundown of ours. My favorite driver is Lando. Sorry, guys. I would say second favorite, very, very close second favorite is Oscar Piastri, which is a weird place to be in because the Lando and Oscar fans hate each other. But we vibe. And third favorite is Alex Albon. But outside of F1, my favorite driver would be Edo Mortara in Formula E and Alex Dunn because I love him.
King.
That's
Yay.
that
Good
that
shout.
that helps tick us off because Ava told us to mention Alex Dunn,
Woo!
and there's Lucy already doing it for us.
Irish.
Back.
And Beth, your rundown.
Number one. My Orlando. So. Closely followed by Oliver Bannon. But that's like a long time thing with Ollie and probably George Russell.
Yeah.
Oh, George, you've got a friend.
I'm not on my own for once.
Oh no, I was going to put my George hat on, waiting for everyone to join, but Lucy told me not to.
Mine is
I
just
never
too far
said-
out of reach.
Those words never left my mouth.
Mine's coming to Orlando standards. It's neon. It's going to fit him.
It is.
Outside of
Bit late.
F1, Nick DeVries, King, and Ella Lloyd.
Love the Welsh. Love the Welsh.
Love the wow.
Love the Welsh. Love the Welsh. Oh boy.
Okay. I think we should get into some of our controversial topics. Now,
Oh.
unfortunately, we asked online about controversial topics, but Beth and I only came up with this concept about 45 minutes before we started filming. So we are trusting the amazing sponsor of McLaren, Gemini. Because what is life without AI? So I've just asked, give me a list of controversial Formula One opinions. And the top one is the 2021 Abu Dhabi Grand Prix.
What a surprise. What a surprise.
Man. Oh, do we have to?
Yes, we must discuss the. Well, I mean, we can always
Oh.
be hungry if you want to hurt Beth and my feelings. But we won't. So 2021 Abu Dhabi. What do we think? What are our opinions?
The right person deserved to win. It was the wrong way.
Anything else? Yeah.
The FIA royally messed up, and to be honest, that was the start. I was about to say that's not the start of the downfall. That was that was when people really thought, oh no, you guys are actually stupid.
Yeah.
You guys are actually idiots.
I've just got Toto Wolff in my mind. No, Mikey.
No, Mikey, that is so not right.
Yeah, I just.
Yeah, it was. I think it was an odd choice. I think. I agree with what you've said, James. I agree.
Yeah.
Bad situation.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll move on so that we don't torment ourselves.
I do have some. I did think of two, but I don't. They might be a bit too spicy. I'll have to wait until later. Break people in.
We love a little bit of a spicy one.
I'm happy to break people in easy first, though, with more Gemini ones.
Okay, we can stick with Gemini for now. We've got driver versus car debate. Whether the driver is only good because of the car they are in. Please don't aim it at Lando, I will cry.
I mean, there's a two-word answer to that, and that answer is Max Verstappen.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
Lewis.
And Lewis, yeah. There's only so far a car can take you, and the driver has to take it that extra step further, and it's where you get like the best of the best qualifying laps. I mean, perfect example, Russell, Belgium 2021. No one ever thought anything like that was anywhere near possible, and he pulled it out and was 3/10 off pole in a car that had absolutely no right to be there.
Correct. I think there's a lot, especially that Beth and I would see, because we're on the Lando side of social media, and I think there's a lot of hate thrown towards him in regards to the car's better. But our main debate point that we've brought up on this podcast before is the Lando versus Oscar debate, where Oscar is currently outperforming Lando, and I'm not to glaze Lando in any way, shape, or form. His move, it was stupid the other week.
Oh yeah.
Dumb.
Yeah.
But
he owned up to it.
He did.
Which I was very happy about.
He put his hands up.
He put his hands up straight away. He didn't, because the Lando of potentially of old, maybe last year when it was getting a bit heated with Max, would have been like, that's his fault. Whereas now he's like, yeah, that's just, it happens, man. Sorry.
Yeah, it was me. My bad. We see it a lot with the Oscars performing better in the same car, and that sort of tension, because that's just the side of social media that we're on. But at the same time, as you've said, George, very well, the car can only take the driver so far. Red Bull is the perfect example. If we look at Yuki in the standings and Max, and obviously Max is a far more experienced driver, but the standings speak for themselves in those cases. Yeah. And then you also brought up Lewis Hamilton, which I can't lie, this was another debate I got into with someone on my TikTok live about, I said, and I may not be right in saying it, but I said it, where I said that Lewis has fallen off a little bit. And I was like, but I obviously understand he's new to Ferrari. He's getting used to the car, this, that, and the other. And they were like, nope, he's the GOAT, can do no wrong. And I was just like, okay, that's fine. If that's your opinion, that's on you. But then once again, they continued to argue that I was just a Lando fan. And I was like,
but I mean,
why can't people just stop? Oh, when you need to stop, just stop.
The hate is so forced, I think, on all the drivers. I've seen a lot of hate, not only towards Lando, but there's hate towards Max for literally making moves that he's just bold. He's just a bold driver. And then people are out here. This one really made me giggle. We saw it on TikTok, where someone posted that they missed the Vettel Schumacher era, and then their next video was complaining about Max Verstappen's moves, and I was like,
Sebo Mark Webber.
But we were like, okay, that's fine, you do you. So people are silly, but even the Lance Stroll hit, I get it. Mans make stupid mistakes. His TikTok, fire. I don't know if you've ever seen Lance Stroll's TikTok. Man's hilarious.
Max Verstappen's moves do just remind me of another On the Marbles quote from the Spider-Man himself, Mark Webber.
Mark Webber?
How big are your balls now? Wait, he said that, I can't remember which one it was, because most of On the Marbles have been taken down for some strange and unknown reason. But yeah, he was he just went, how big are your balls now? And he was like, yeah, they're just brave. Max just wants to go. Yeah, let's just have a go. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. It's like climbing a tree. Sometimes the branch will snap underneath you and you'll plummet to your death. Sometimes you'll be fine.
That was a great analogy. Okay, up next on our controversial opinions. I didn't know this one was controversial, but okay. What is everyone's opinions on sprint races?
All right.
Solid.
They're just there.
Yeah, they exist.
Yeah. I'd say like they exist. There are some tracks where they 100% work, cough, Sao Paulo, cough. Like that one
Sao
has been
Paulo
a
will
banger
never produce a
every
bad race.
single time they've done it because it's Sao Paulo. But there are some tracks it just doesn't work for. I'm trying to think of the one that came to
Miami.
mind.
Yeah, I was
Miami, yeah.
Miami, yeah.
Any street circuit.
I was gonna say Azerbaijan's wasn't that good when they did it. I mean, Silverstone was good as a first one, but they
That
never
was
did it
really good because I
again.
remember watching it live because Channel 4. That'll be coming up soon.
Yeah, Monza was fine, but Imola was not good apart from like the last lap.
Photo was good.
Austria was
Polo was
fine,
good, yeah.
but part of that was down to weather as well in 2023.
Mm.
Qatar is just I don't get why they keep doing the sprints at Qatar.
I don't
Like,
understand why Qatar's on the calendar, to be honest.
just seconded, yeah.
I feel like with some tracks with sprint races, there was the idea ages ago when it was first suggested. Ow, my eye. And then obviously we had the Bahrain, and then we had the Bahrain Mark II, and people were like, "Oh, the sprint race should be on a different part of the track, like a different layer." I was like, "That actually makes a lot of sense." Problem is, then that just loses loads of F1 money because they're like, "Oh, well, we can't sell like ridiculously overpriced tickets to Miami, even though it's an absolutely god awful track." Um, and if I'm going too hard, do just tell me to stop.
No such thing as hard. We have had every debate under the sun on this podcast.
But like, yeah, they won't be able to make all the money that they want to because yeah.
Well, I think that's why we're seeing a lot of like Middle Eastern countries coming in with races as well. That we're just like, it's all about money. That's where the money is. That's where the rich people are. So everything's about money.
Well, have you seen like on Formula E and Extreme E now, all the public investment fund stuff? Because obviously all the world's going to sustainables.
Yeah.
And a lot of the oil and gas comes from the Middle Eastern countries because obviously they're vast reserves. But now they're getting a lot of green hydrogen made there on like through I think the place is called Neom. It's on like the Saudi coast, and that's now starting to become their main source of income because they've kind of realised they went, oh, not good. When obviously we go away from oil and gas and we can't really use our reserves anymore and make loads of money from that, we can just get loads of our investment from the public investment fund. We've invested in there and we get our money back from that.
Hey.
Very much like Newcastle. Up the tune!
I'm the one that's allowed to do that, James. You live in Sunderland.
I don't live in Sunderland.
Are you being fake, James?
No, I don't live in Sunderland.
Are you lying to yourself?
I live on the border. I live on the border.
On the border.
I live on the border. Don't say where I am.
And
Don't say where I am because I don't want to.
Our final one from Gemini, before we move on to whatever James has cooked up. We have new race locations replacing historic tracks.
Depends on the track.
Rest in peace, Imola.
Potential hot take. I'm okay with Imola stepping away, but I do think it should be one that moves in with like take Catalonia if that falls off the calendar, take France and put them on a rotation together.
Paul Ricard.
I love
Secondly, Spa should never, ever, ever be on a rotation. That should be on every single year, and I don't know why that's being rotated.
Fact.
Thirdly, I don't know if you guys have seen, but there has been some potential rumors that Turkey is looking to come back.
Kyle Army as well.
I think it's a good thing. Kyle Army's been put forward to go for Grade 1 status, which is great. And then Thailand is another potential new track, which, depending on what they do, I'd be up for that because I get that's a different place.
Oh,
It's not another US track. It's not another Middle East track. It's somewhere new and different.
I like that. I like that. You know, once again, Spa, completely agree with. One of my favorite races to watch. It's incredible. One thing this is a really hot take, and I know it will never happen. Monaco is not suited for modern day Formula One cars anymore. Like,
Louder for the people at the back.
like Monaco, like the cars have gotten bigger throughout the years, and I understand its historical significance, and I understand all that. But like, my dad actually posed one. Now, my dad does not watch Formula One, so he comes off of some stupid. But like, this actually made me be like, wait a minute. And they were like, what if they made Monaco rotational? And I know they won't, but if they did, if they could like modify a smaller version of a car so that there could actually be overtakes instead of George Russell cutting the goddamn chicane because he can't get past Alex Albon.
He crashed out so much. He was like, he actually went bananas.
Can we get the sprinklers out? Yes, please.
If you want a good Monaco race, watch Formula E. That's all.
Yeah.
Formula E was
Formula E. Oh, Monaco and Formula E. It's like having your first ever like chocolate cake or something like that. It's just so nice. Or it's having like a really nice beer for the first time, and you go, oh, this is lovely.
But like, something needs to happen with Monaco. Like, I know that it's, once again, it's where the money is. It's where the rich people live because they don't pay taxes. But like, at the same time, it is the most boring race in the world.
Yeah.
I downstairs to watch it in my living room. I kick the leg rest up. I put my quilt over me and my pillow behind my head. I watch that opening lap and I nap for the rest.
Formula 2 was good because they all just crashed out in the first
Oh,
corner.
yeah, there was the pile up at turn one.
And then I'm pretty sure it was the Porsche race as well was happening at Monaco, and there was a pile up in turn one as well.
Amazing.
Yes.
Love it.
And then I was thinking about Formula One, and Charles and Lando, don't even think about it. Don't even think about it, please.
I put it out in the universe last year that if Charles won Monaco, they could refer to me as Janet for the next episode. Charles then won Monaco, and then yeah,
that was great from you. Well done.
yeah. I was fully
Janet.
convinced he wasn't going to make it past turn one, but
like, I know they
How
tried
wrong
to
I
add
was.
things in this year with like the two-stop strategy, but like, see the second Lando got pole, we all knew. We all knew. We were all like, it's happening. We all know he's going to win Monaco.
it nearly
Even if
didn't
he
with the lockup in turn one. But
Oh, don't.
whose heart skipped a beat?
Beth doesn't like to discuss anything that's negative against Lando.
Bears.
I'm just sensitive. I just cry really easily.
Did your heart rate
Yeah,
go up a little
me
bit?
too.
Hungry 2024. You're
I
gonna
don't
need
even
the
mean to-
team. You're gonna need Oscar.
Austria 2024.
Canada
Don't.
2025.
But I'm just a very
Come on, George.
soul. Like, just cry really like, I won't even realise that I'm crying, and Lucy will be like, are you okay?
I phoned her right after the crash happened in Canada. And I was like, listen, as a Lando fan, I was laughing. I had my moment of like, oh, no, what have you just done? And then I took a moment. I was like, I'm an adult. And then this millionaire man does not know I exist. And then I phoned Beth just to be like, have a little rant, just to be like, that was really stupid of him. What was he thinking? And Beth picked up and was like, I don't want to talk to anybody right now. There was some other threats in there that I don't think are safe for you without us getting monetized.
That actually will get you.
Let's just say 13th reason, and I think you'll get the case. There was a lot of that. And my mum was sitting on the other sofa going, are you sure you want to go to Silverstone with her? Because if Lando doesn't win at Silverstone, I'm scared to go back to the tent with Beth that night. Because I will become a full-time therapist.
We made a Mystic George has made a race prediction for Silverstone,
Did I?
and it's on our
Oh, God.
Instagram. It's an interesting clip that I got very very bored and made in 10
Oh,
minutes.
right, yeah, I remember that one now. Yeah,
And
'cause
I sent it to him when he was a little bit drunk, and he was like, "What the hell is this?" So do check that out on the Liechtenstein Instagram.
I will.
So are we ready for my hot takes? I'm gonna go
Yeah.
gentle.
You don't have to.
Okay.
No, my first one is actually quite gentle. Number
Okay.
1, Channel 4 is better than Sky.
Yes.
Yeah.
well, yeah, I mean, Channel 4 is F1 TV, so yeah, it is.
Yeah, exactly.
I will say, and I'm gonna gloat. I do have a signed phone case that has our podcast name on it, signed by Crofty.
You know what? Fair enough.
Oh,
Nah. They just
I will say, Crofty knows the podcast exists.
fair enough, but also they're just idiots. They're idiots. They chat out their asses.
Danica Patrick.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, I called.
And
I meant to say Danica Patrick.
and as well, they're so biased. When that
They-
Beat up the
bloke,
op.
when that
There's
bloke,
British bias. There's a clear British bias.
when that bloke called them out on, he was like, "Oh yeah, because you guys are Mercedes fans," and Ted's like, "No, we're not." "Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are." He's like, "No, we're not." It's like, "You are."
I mean, from my perspective, and this might just be me being a big George Russell fan, like listening to the Sky commentary, they're British biased to everyone but Russell. Like they
Sure.
don't give a shit about him.
Don't blame them.
Wow.
But like, did you not see? Was it at the last race? Where Max Verstappen called
Yes,
Was
yes.
Ted?
And you're
he
like,
called
yeah, it was
out?
Ted, and he was like, "Why are you singling somebody out?" "No, I'm not. You just mentioned them by name."
To
Yeah.
be fair, I am in no way a Max Verstappen hater. Sometimes there's moves that he makes on track that I'm like, guys, let's not. But that I was absolutely picking myself. I was like, as you should, call them out because sometimes people need to be humbled.
When it comes to interviews, Max Verstappen's like my favorite person ever. He's just so
Oh, yeah.
honest. He's so straight to the point, and I'm like, yes.
And him like calling out Drive to Survive on his Twitch live stream, incredible. Him being like, I heard I was really upset after Lando's Miami win. Don't remember that, to be honest. But I will say, in defense of Sky Sports, Bernie Collins.
Yes,
I will allow that
That's
defense.
all I
have to
say.
Yeah.
but Channel 4, Lee McKenzie.
This is true. This is true.
Lee McKenzie. Basically, if you're Scottish or Irish or Welsh, if you're not English, so basically, if you're anything but English, we love you. If you're English, unless you're Alex Jakes or Ben Edwards.
But I will say, Bernie saves Sky Sports for me. I
Bernie
love
does.
See,
Bernie's
whenever
a
I
happy
hear
badge.
whenever I hear a little and to Bernie, I'm like, yes, my queen.
Just a little bit of sprinkling is just a little bit of sprinkling of the Irish.
It also makes me giggle though, because she sounds like she doesn't have a really thick Northern Irish accent until she says the word medium tire and she pronounces it medium tire. And I'm like, yes. Anyone outside of Northern Ireland right now is just going, huh? What about your other controversial one? This one scares me because you've
Ooh.
said this one's spicy.
Right. Neither McLaren nor Ferrari deserve to win the Constructors in 2024.
Okay. Question then: who did deserve to win it?
Neither of them. I don't know. Either Mercedes or Red Bull, but neither McLaren nor Ferrari because of how many mistakes and strategy errors that they made. They made too many mistakes, shafted the
At
drivers
McLaren
too
pit
much.
wall.
McLaren pitbull. Will Joseph?
At Will Joseph.
They
Stella?
they shafted their drivers too much and just made too many mistakes that neither of them deserved it.
This is fair because
Oh, sorry, that was not the response I was expecting.
listen. In terms of your actual point, no, 100% I think McLaren deserved it. Like, and especially like looking at this year, they're running away with it.
Oh yeah, now they do.
But last year, yes, way too many silly mistakes. McLaren Pitwall was my mortal enemy for the entirety of 2024. Especially whenever Hungary happened, I genuinely had a moment.
Sorry, Beth's face just dropped.
Beth doesn't like to hear hungry. Even if I say I'm feeling hungry right now, she's like, don't mention it. But like after that happened, and also that was the first race that I'd managed to fully convince my parents to sit down and watch. You know, they'd come in for the past couple of years, they'd had a glance, and like finally I'd got through to my mom, and I was like, just sit and watch it, you'll enjoy it. And she enjoyed the first part of it until "You're gonna need the team, you're gonna need Oscar" was uttered by Will Joseph. And that was a moment where I genuinely went, I'm a Lando and an Oscar fan. I am not a McLaren fan. Like, that was a moment where I was like, where you go, I go, my guy. Like, I stand with you. In terms of Ferrari, yeah.
That's
We
all
are
needs to be
checking.
said.
Do you
Must be
know
the
what
water.
though?
Go on, Beth.
I'm gonna say the fact that Ferrari was so close to McLaren after that whole run after Monaco last year, insane. I also
Yeah.
want also point out how close Carlos finished to Oscar. It was like 2 points behind, and was like Carlos's DNF. Oscar's finished every lap. Carlos didn't race, and to finish 2 points behind Oscar. Yeah,
Which shows the
do
McLaren
think-
mistakes.
I do think McLaren did get lucky, but
Yeah.
they're my guys.
I
They're
don't
my
think
guys.
It
But I love them. So.
shouldn't have been as close as it was. And let's say, if it weren't for Checo Perez,
Yeah.
Red Bull all the way. Like, but
I mean,
at the same time, I'm like, you know, points don't lie. So I will say McLaren still deserved it, but I definitely was watching it going, y'all need to get your head down for 2025 because he's fucked
They
up.
have.
They have.
They have
Or, what,
properly
2 points ahead?
pulled the fingers out of their bottoms.
I
And
do
actually
believe
got on
they're
with it.
sitting 200 points ahead as of right now, but I am going to fact check it because
it was on my
Yeah.
home screen. But
The
I
McLaren
changed
are
my
on
home screen.
374, Mercedes 199.
Oh,
So just
Mercedes.
under two and 175 points ahead, if that's right.
George does his
Yeah,
home.
something
George
like that.
has tabs open. He has like several million tabs open, and he actually does his homework, unlike me, which is when I just let him just do stuff.
You know what, though? We all said at the beginning of this year, Beth said it first, and it took me a little convincing, but after the first 2 races, I was on her side. George Russell is the dark horse to watch this season.
And in our
Told you.
preseason, didn't I say, James? Didn't I say George Russell world champion 2025?
I think you did.
I mean, we're not looking good right now, but
We're not
I
looking
hold out
good right
much
now,
hope.
but you did say this. You did say this. I think I said Oscar. I said it was going to be very close between the three of them, and then it'll be after like round 16 or something like that. One of them just going to run away with it.
I mean, I'm delusional, so I've been saying Lando all the way. But at the same time, I was like, George is one to watch, though, because even though, yes, McLaren are
Yeah.
sprinting away with the constructors, Lando's making a lot of mistakes.
Yes.
And there has been the odd moment where Oscar has also made a fair few mistakes. Not that the Oscar fans want to admit it, but he has.
Australia.
George, even though he's not winning every race, he is very, very consistent in his standing.
He's getting points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's constantly either like third or fourth. Like, he is very
Dang.
consistent in where he's standing. So if McLaren don't whack Lando and Oscar's heads together and go, stop fighting your teammates, because at the end of the day, I don't know who said it, and I don't know where it was said. Honestly, could have been Drive to Survive. Cancel me, I don't care. But they basically said, like, bro, my brain just died. What was I saying?
I've just
Anyway.
poked my eye.
Yeah, I got distracted by James. It
I
was
went like this and just poked my eye.
Oh, yes, I remember now. It was something along the lines of McLaren need to remind Lando and Oscar that while, yes, they will want the Drivers' Championship, they need to remind them that they are employees of McLaren and that the constructors should be their main priority.
Which is what Lando said in an interview, literally, like, I think it was after Canada, and everyone on Twitter was like, why is he saying this? Why is he saying this? And he was like, he said, like, the constructors always comes first, drivers come second.
Yes, well, it has to, because you're
Yeah.
employed by that team. And if that team doesn't do very well in the constructors, you don't get as many sponsors.
And you
but-
get dropped.
Yeah.
But
Daddy!
Because I mean, back towards like McLaren's that like particularly at Canada,
Daddy!
like just last race,
Daddy!
Mercedes had good pace in warm weather, which is unheard of in like the last 3 years. So if that trend continues, McLaren need to be worried.
Mm-hmm.
This is true. This is what we're saying. Like, consistency is key. And if Lando and Oscar keep button heads like they did in Canada, if this continues down the line, and this is not the first time they've butted heads, so let's not pretend like it is. If this continues and George Russell stays consistent, you might just find he jumps up the standings.
Sneaks ahead.
What does the AI companion do?
My friend! My AI friend!
On Zoom, we don't use Zoom Premium.
It tells
It
you what
basically-
everyone said.
It gives me like a summary of everything that's gone on in this podcast. So whenever I get the email and I go through to Zoom, it basically sends me like a full, like, I get a transcript. It like splits up the video into sections to be like, you talked about this to this time, you talked about this to this time, and it like titles it for you. And then if you format it for YouTube, it gives you your description. And it also gives you title ideas, but I never use them.
I feel like you can make it like some form of Instagram or social media post with the different facial expressions that I have in this episode, because I've definitely had a lot of different ones.
It'll be on the thumbnail, don't worry. I go through this recording and I click random moments that someone's had a funny face, I screenshot it, and then I pick the dumbest one to go in the thumbnail. You will be violated.
Yeah, you will. Happens every single time.
Anyway, but that is us at time. So we will wrap this up. So thank you guys very, very much. We will also be recording an episode for their podcast, and the link will be in the description. James is dying. The link will be in the description. So head on over to their podcast. And we will see you guys next week. Well, maybe next week. Who knows?
Who knows
Whenever
at
we
this
decide
point.
to upload next. For when we discuss the events of Austria, and let's hope Lando doesn't DNF.
Peace this year. Peace this year. Peace
He's
on earth.
already got his one DNF of the year out of the way. It's fine. Anyway, see you guys next
Game
week.
is the game.
Bye!
Game is the game.
We don't play. Hope you're ready for the next episode. Hold up.